We're back on Ayyan Wheels. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're diving deep into what many are calling the baby Land Cruiser, the 2026 Toyota Land Cruiser FJ. It's a compact off-road SUV that channels the legendary Land Cruiser DNA, yet in a smaller, more accessible package. We'll cover everything: design heritage, specs, on-road and off-road potential, market positioning, comparisons, and what this means for buyers in the Middle East, especially Saudi Arabia. Let's roll. Section 1. Legacy and Context. 0:30 to 3 o'clock. To understand the 2026 Land Cruiser FJ, we have to revisit the legacy of the Land Cruiser line. Toyota has built the Land Cruiser family over decades, from the original FJ40s to the 70 series, the 200 series, and now the 300 series. The Land Cruiser name means off-road toughness, reliability, and global reach. What makes the baby Land Cruiser so interesting is that it attempts to bring some of that DNA into a smaller footprint. Toyota has officially introduced the Land Cruiser FJ, sometimes referenced as the baby Land Cruiser, or compact Land Cruiser. As reported by Car and Driver, Toyota will build a baby Land Cruiser, but the new FJ isn't for America. According to Wikipedia, the Land Cruiser FJ is a compact SUV, body-on-frame, that will be produced in Thailand starting in 2026. Online forums are already buzzing with speculation. On 4runners.com, one user wrote, "Greater than, thoughts on the new baby Land Cruiser?" And responses range from excitement to skepticism, especially cargo space versus hybrid batteries, etc. That shows the interest, but also the questions. So, in short, this isn't just a small crossover, it's Toyota's attempt to give buyers a true off-road capable SUV in a smaller size, leveraging the Land Cruiser badge for markets around the world, though notably not North America, Europe, at least initially. That global market focus is key. Section 2. Design and Platform. 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Let's talk about design and engineering. The Land Cruiser FJ rides on the IMV platform, shared in part with the Toyota Helix, which means a robust foundation. Because it's body-on-frame, unlike many smaller SUVs, it carries more serious off-road cred. Dimensions. According to the Car and Driver article, the new model is closer in size to a Corolla Cross than to a full-size Land Cruiser. They quote 180.1 inches long, approximately 4.58 meters, 77.2 inches wide, approximately 1.96 meters, just over 6 feet tall, approximately 1.83 meters. That's a much smaller footprint than the 300 series or 70 series, making it more maneuverable in city and tighter terrain. But the design is retro-inspired, nods to the FJ-style cues, the old FJ Cruiser, and classic Land Cruiser shape. Wikipedia lists designers Koji Inoue, Lu Yi, Kosuke Kubo, Kohei Toyota exterior, and Yuki Ujita interior. The off-road features: removable front and rear bumper covers, helpful in rough terrain, body bracing underneath, part-time four-wheel drive. Car and Driver. Additional bracing under the floor helps make it tougher off-road, and the front and rear bumper covers are removable if you misjudge an approach and scrape things up. This is serious for a compact SUV. On styling. The Freedom and Joy FJ naming references Freedom and Joy and the iconic FJ40. Wikipedia. Name FJ is a backronym of Freedom and Joy and a reference to the FJ40 Land Cruiser. So for buyers who love heritage but want a more city-friendly size, this could hit the sweet spot. Inside, while full specs are not yet publicly confirmed for all markets, you'd expect Toyota to offer modern infotainment, connectivity, off-road mode controls, comfortable seating, maybe 4 or 5 seats depending on configuration. Given its global market ambition, including the Middle East, interior quality will matter. In short, the design and platform strike a balanced approach: smaller size, serious hardware, retro heritage styling. But how does the performance stack up? Section 3. Powertrain and Performance. 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Turning to what powers this new Land Cruiser. According to Car and Driver's initial report, the engine is a 2.7-liter inline-4 producing about 161 horsepower and 181 pound-feet, approximately equals 246 Nm. Transmission is a 6-speed automatic, part-time four-wheel drive. For a smaller SUV, those numbers are modest, but the off-road hardware and body-on-frame platform help. Important caveats. Those are early numbers and may not apply in all markets. Toyota may offer regional powertrain variations, especially in Middle East markets where larger engines and diesel variants are popular. The Wikipedia page lists petrol 2.7 L2 TRFEI 4 for some markets. What about off-road performance? Because this vehicle is body-on-frame, part-time 4WD, decent wheel articulation, Toyota said, equivalent to the old 70 series, for wheel articulation according to Car and Driver. And with braced underfloor and removable bumper covers, Toyota is signaling genuine off-road capability, not just, looks like off-road. That's an important distinction. For on-road use, the smaller size means better urban maneuvering and possibly better fuel economy compared to larger SUVs. For buyers in Dammam, Eastern Province, Saudi Arabia, that means easier parking, better daily usability. But the trade-off will be in power, confidence versus bigger Land Cruisers, especially when loaded or towing. If Toyota offers a stronger engine for Middle East, which is likely, this could balance the character. We'll keep an eye for official regional specs once released. Bottom line, the powertrain may not be super high output based on initial numbers, but combined with the platform and design, it promises an off-road capable small SUV. Section 4. Market position and Middle East focus 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock. Let's talk market strategy. The Land Cruiser FJ is not being initially offered in the US or Europe. Car and Driver quotes Toyota, the new FJ isn't for America. But it is aimed at markets like Asia, Middle East, Latin America. Wikipedia likewise mentions Asia, Middle East and Latin American markets. For Saudi Arabia and the Gulf region, this vehicle could be a strong contender. The Land Cruiser name holds enormous prestige here. Durability in desert, reliability, resale value, brand heritage. But the big Land Cruiser models are expensive, large, heavy. A mini Land Cruiser would fill a gap, off-road capable but easier to live with day to day. In Eastern Province, Dammam, etc., where city driving intersects with desert excursions, this could be ideal. Potential buyer profiles. Young professionals who love weekend off-road overland and want Land Cruiser cred without huge size. Families who need an SUV that is rugged but still manageable. City dwellers who also escape to the desert or coast and want one vehicle doing it all. Pricing. Not confirmed yet, but likely lower than the flagship Land Cruiser models 300 series. That could attract a broader segment. Competition. It will face other compact, midsize off-road-oriented SUVs, e.g., Jeep Wrangler, Land Rover Defender variants, Toyota's own 4Runner or Prado. But its niche is small body on-frame Land Cruiser. That may give it unique positioning. Challenges. If power engine options are limited, might be underwhelming for buyers used to bigger SUVs. If interior cargo space is too compromised, could dissuade family buyers. Availability and localization, Middle East specs, parts, service will matter. Toyota typically has strong support in the region, that's a plus. So for the Middle East, this could be a smart move by Toyota, give the Land Cruiser name to a more accessible model. We'll watch how they localize it for Gulf markets, engine, diesel version, Gulf spec cooling, tuning for desert, etc. Section 5. Comparisons and trade-offs 12 o'clock to 1500. Time to compare the Land Cruiser FJ with alternatives, and weigh trade-offs. Comparisons. Larger siblings. The Land Cruiser 300 series, larger size, more power, higher cost. If you choose the FJ, you're giving up size, power for size, economy and maneuverability. Competitors. For example, the market for compact off-road SUVs might include the Jeep Wrangler, Mitsubishi Pajero Sport, Land Rover Defender 90, etc. But many of those are unibody or less rugged than a body-on-frame Land Cruiser. Trade-offs. Size versus capability. Smaller size means easier city driving, parking, but may mean less interior space, less third row, if any, or less cargo room. Engine power. If the 2.7L inline-4 is the only option, performance might lag behind bigger engines in harder conditions, e.g., heavy loads, desert dunes. Weight and fuel economy. Body-on-frame often means heavier than unibody compacts, so fuel economy may not be as good as expected. Off-road versus everyday. While Toyota signals strong off-road capability, buyers must decide how often they will use that capability. If they mostly drive city, is the investment worth it compared to a simpler SUV? Benefits. Land Cruiser heritage. Reliability, resale value, service network. Off-road capability in a manageable package. Potentially lower cost entry into Land Cruiser family. Important consideration. For buyers in Saudi Arabia, temperature extremes, sand, and desert driving demand strong cooling, suspension, and drivetrain tuning. Toyota will likely provide a Gulf version or tuning, worth waiting for confirmed regional specs. Section 6. What it means for buyers in Saudi Arabia 1500 to 1700. Let's focus specifically on you, the viewer in Dammam, Eastern Province, Saudi Arabia. Consider the climate and terrain. Hot summers, sandy deserts, coastal salt air, urban traffic, highway driving. You want a vehicle that can glide from city to off-road, coast to dunes, with reliability and good service support. The Land Cruiser FJ could deliver. Easier maneuvering in city versus larger Land Cruisers. Lower fuel maintenance cost than bigger SUV, depending on engine. Off-road cred for weekend desert trips or camping by the coast. Things to ask deepen. Will Toyota offer a diesel variant popular in Middle East for torque and fuel economy? Not yet confirmed. What is the ground clearance, approach departure angles, sand drive system, cooling package? These matter in Saudi desert. Will there be a Gulf spec version with heavy-duty cooling, tuned suspension for sand, maybe snorkel options, etc.? How will resale value hold? Land Cruiser name helps. What is expected price and how does it compare to premium competing SUVs in region? In other words, if you're shopping now or soon for a rugged yet manageable SUV, the FJ is worth waiting for. But if you need something immediately, you might still stick with proven Land Cruiser or Prado models, until full regional specs of FJ become available. Section 7. Final thoughts and outlook 1700 to 1800. To wrap up, the 2026 Toyota Land Cruiser FJ, the baby Land Cruiser, is a compelling proposition. It brings the legendary Land Cruiser name into a more accessible, smaller SUV, with serious off-road hardware, retro styling, and global market ambition. For buyers in Saudi Arabia and the Middle East, it could hit a sweet spot between everyday usability and weekend ruggedness. However, there are unknowns: regional engine trims, pricing, full interior cargo layout, Middle East tuning. My recommendation: if you're in the market for a rugged SUV and can wait, keep an eye on the FJ. If you need one now, evaluate based on your real use case: city plus desert versus heavy towing plus large family. Make sure to subscribe to Ayyan Wheels. We'll be bringing updates as soon as Toyota releases full specs, regional versions, and reviews. If you enjoyed today's video and want more breakdowns of upcoming SUVs, give the like button a press, hit the bell icon, and leave a comment below. What would you like to see from this baby Land Cruiser? Powertrain options, competitor matchups, desert testing. Let me know. Thanks for watching, and until next time, drive safe, explore hard, and keep rolling with Ayyan Wheels.